Okay, so quick little video. I have been uh, getting a lot of updates. Many of the people I'd been speaking to in the Earth Alliance have, out of the blue, started contacting me again right after the Georgia Guidestones were blown up. The former president of um, Japan was assassinated. I was told that there have been a lot of quiet resignations, all sorts of peculiar stuff going on. Um, that, more information about the world war between the West and the new BRICS Union. They've created their own economy that's probably going to collapse the West's economy at some point. This is just what I'm hearing. I've had an incredible amount of contact with the Zulu elders, and it's been incredible. They have shared with me and peeled back a whole other layer of this reality that I didn't even know existed. They've really gone into detail teaching me how certain fifth density negative ETs came to our sphere and started tricking us into using our co-creative mass consciousness, started tricking us into creating different religions, hell, different types of hell, beings that come from hell, these shadow beings and demonic entities. And they even explained to me how nature itself creates sentience and intelligence in beings that we call elementals. And my mind is still blown. I'm still going through all of it. It is amazing. I never would have guessed that extraterrestrials and ghosts and demons and all of that stuff from my childhood would be interconnected. Never would have imagined it. But ETs and what happens in the spiritual realm are related. Very freaky. You should watch one of my earlier videos where I talk about the reptilians and gray aliens and the information we found out about how they work alongside these weird elementals and demonic entities. It's really freaky, but they gave me a lot more information about that I'm going to disseminate. I heard from the SSP Alliance everything that's going on up until the current moment with the Global Galactic League of Nations that split away from the interplanetary corporate conglomerate that controls everything. They declared independence. There are hundreds of bases and colonies that belong to this group, mostly on the outskirts of our galaxy, mostly bordering where the Andromeda galaxy is to ours, position to ours. And we've had a lot of communications recently from the Guardians from the Andromeda galaxy. They are, they've been going through a very similar thing that we have. The local galactic cluster is made up of dozens of galaxies. All of those galaxies have the same pretty much structure we do. They have super federations that ultimately report to these galactic guardians that they hardly ever see or speak to, but the guardians oversee things and monitor things. And this AI threat has spread through dozens of galaxies, and it's become a huge problem. The Andromeda galaxy has almost completely rooted out all of their elements of negativity. They're equivalent to our Orion group. They don't have the gray aliens in their galaxy and the reptilians exactly like we do, causing problems. They have different beings. So it's very complicated, but the intergalactic trials have begun. The pre-Adamites that were in Antarctica have been taken to these groups. Them and many, not thousands, but millions of other negative groups like them are going on trial right now. And I was kind of shown how it will happen. I'm going to give a bigger report on all of this with more details. But basically, yeah, there's a giant intergalactic trial that's beginning, and it happens it happens in one galaxy, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, and the next, as it goes down the chain, and eventually will reach ours. But in our galaxy, the Super Federation has been disbanded. It was completely corrupted by the Orion group, and a mess was made. The Super Federation was supposed to monitor and help guide our genetic and spiritual evolution, as well as oversee cosmic laws between groups that do commerce and other things. There's a whole lot that they were supposed to be doing, but they weren't. I'm going to go into detail on all of this stuff in the in-game report. So be prepared. This is going to be one hell of an update. It's going to cover everything from the craziness that's gone on with the Earth Alliance, how they basically collapsed. They're kind of getting their shit together again now. I have to be very careful. But I'm going to put a lot of this on ascensionworks.tv so it doesn't get censored on this platform. There's so much. I have like 2 pages of notes that I've got to cover in this video that I'm going to do. We're covering everything, as above, so below. Everything is wacky and crazy in the cosmos with all of the things I just described. Basically the weirdest world war we've ever seen is going on this planet. I have details on that. And then we're going to also discuss, what happened with the ufology movement. Not only did the alliance collapse and fail, but so did the ufology movement, the whole unity in the community. We want disclosure, that, totally collapsed just because of personalities and corruption within the ufology field. And I have been led to do a series of documentaries that are going to be on a major platform that is going to cover all of the corruption, wild craziness that is going on in the ufology movement and spiritual communities. It is nuts. It is sick. It is perverse in some cases that people that call themselves spiritual and light workers are out there, saying that they're in it for the movement. They're in it, to bring disclosure, but it really turns out that they're not. It's, and we can't totally blame the community, because the disclosure movement was set up by the Rockefellers, by their cutouts that have become the most powerful people in ufology, who control who is heard and who isn't. They, they will, control who gets to go to events, who is on certain shows. It's all broken down. We've broken it all down. It's really insidious. And, and then we just have, the community itself. 70% of the community was these beautiful people who wanted disclosure. They wanted love and light across the planet, but the community was infiltrated. Infighting came out, and in force. People started deciding that, well, I think I deserve this. In my truth, I think this should be the case on something or on things. It's really weird. I'm not describing it very well, but people come in and they say, I want to volunteer. This is about the mission. And then they'll see money transferring hands or people getting attention. And then all of a sudden they want the money, then they want the attention. And then if you don't give them what they feel they have built up in their own truth that they deserve, then these loving light warriors will go out and viciously destroy you or the person that didn't give them what they feel they deserve, and lash out with all of the anger and hate that they have towards everyone on this planet that's ever wronged them. And they just, this vicious, vile. And then you see many, many thousands of other people thinking what they're doing is okay. It's just lost. The entire disclosure movement was really a farce. It was set up on false foundations, a foundation of creating the disclosure movement to be able to control it. So, I mean, here, when all's said and done, we're just going to have to figure out a way to take over the disclosure movement and make it what its namesake is, focused on disclosure instead of people looking to tell all these LARP stories and control a narrative of what's going on in space, not based on any real intelligence, but based on their feelings and what resonates. I don't want this evilness to be going on, so I'm going to create my reality to where it's all been destroyed and removed. And if I believe it hard enough, it will come true. That's not disclosure. That's not disclosure. So I've had a lot of conversations with the Anshar and the Zulu about the community. They had told me all along that this was going to happen. They told me all along that, the alliance wouldn't be completely successful. They've made it very clear that they have done everything they can in the cosmos, and now it's our turn. We have been tacitly agreeing to this reality, and we have a lot of karma attached to it. The powers that be have been causing problems on other planets, not just our own, and we have allowed this to go on for long enough. All right, that's all I've got really for you for now. We have some amazing updates, very detailed, details that no one has ever shared before. The current consciousness of humanity has not heard all of this. And it's time, and it has to become part of our consciousness, whether you believe it, disbelieve it, whether you would rather hear another narrative to where all the bad guys have already been beat and forced to leave our solar system, go for it. But if you're ready to roll up your sleeves and become part of the solution and not daydream that it's already manifest, then get out there, man. Get out there and fulfill your mission right now. Don't let anyone distract you or make you make your decisions out of fear. And ultimately, that's what's happening. All of the people in the community, all of the people that were even in the alliance, they collapsed under fear. It was fear. And then, the community had its own problems, but when the pandemic came and everyone was locked down and all of this fear was pumped into the public, things started changing. It was very obvious. And, a lot of people have left the community, gone back to their root religions. Others, have backed away because of all the crazy infighting and weirdness. And, others are reveling in it. The LARP enthusiasts are taking advantage of the situation and just putting out, it's the craziest stuff. This rogue galactic federation that many are so excited to be in communion with, were kicked out of Andromeda. They were fighting with the negative in that galaxy, and they are headquartered on a planet called Venus. And we have, so see if this story sounds familiar. We have angelic looking ETs from Venus who are coming down to Earth and having affairs with women who they find fair. And in this case, it's elderly women, but I guess they like more mature women. I don't know. So we have basically the story of fallen angels from all of our old religions occurring in the contemporary times, and people think it's an exciting and good thing. Humanity has a long way to go, and it is very scary for me to hear that, these ET groups have basically, the Orion group, I'm getting into some of the details that I'll get into later, but the Orion group has been forced back to some of their strongholds, and there's a little over a dozen solar systems, including our own, that the Orion group is dug into, and they're ready to fight. They're fighting outwardly towards the ETs, but now they need to fight inwardly towards us. We need to stand up and fight for our freedom and be a part of the solution if we want a good and positive temporal reality. Yeah, just get ready. This in-game report is going to be amazing. I just wanted to make a quick little video to give everyone a heads up about the amazing intel that's coming in on the cosmic level. I've heard some amazing stuff from the Earth Alliance. We are at war. It's just oops, accidentally hit the button. But yeah, we are at war, and it is a different war than we have ever witnessed. And the masses are not really participating in it because they've been put into a state of fear and brainwashed and put into a chaotic state that we see now. And we see places like Sri Lanka and where people are storming the government buildings, due to the tyranny, but it's not happening worldwide. When this happens worldwide, when we all start standing up and not stop participating in this illusion that has been created for us, this prison, when we stop participating in that, that's when the positive timeline begins. And those who are waiting for gods or ETs to come out of the sky to save us, to take all the bad guys away, sorry, that's our job. They're going to help us, but we have to do it. We're the ones that originally invited them in. They didn't come in and, start killing people and starting wars and all of that to take over the planet. They came in and very cunningly tricked us into giving them our power and the control of our co-creative consciousness. And from that time up until now, they have used that power to keep us enslaved, pumping fear into us to feed off of us from the loosh, and using our co-creative consciousness against us to create this reality and this matrix that's all inside the mind of the mass consciousness. It's amazing, it's horrifying, but when we really learn all the details and understand them, we understand how much power we have. It's our co-creative consciousness, our power that's being used. We're the ones being tricked into creating demons and devils, and we've even been forced into creating agregores that are ET races that didn't exist, that our co-creative consciousness created because some of the negative groups needed allies. So our co-creative consciousness and the co-creative consciousness of countless civilizations in the cosmos have gone through this. Many have overcome it as we can, but just stand by. The end game report is coming, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. It's very exciting. We're getting to the end of this. It's just time for us to stand up and take responsibility for our contributions to this problem, and ultimately take power of our co-creative consciousness. And once we do that, we're ready to evolve into the next stage. But until then, this hell we have created will continue. All right, I look forward to bringing you the full report. Just to let you know, we're staying in a number of cabins throughout the mountains in areas that we love. For a couple of weeks to get away from the heat. There's been a heat wave in Boulder and a lot of the country. So we've been spending a couple of weeks cabin hopping and going to beautiful places and nourishing our soul, because things are about to get really busy. Okay, more to come. Stay tuned for the end game secret space program update. It's not going to be the last update, but it's going to be, it's end game stuff. And we're a part of the story. So once you are able to absorb the full briefing, hopefully it will give you a new outlook on this reality and take away any fear you have and empower you to understand that you can shape this, recreate it into anything you want. We just have to come together and get past all these divisive tactics that are used against us, that keeps us from focusing our co-creative consciousness on something that we would like to manifest. This is a little mini pre-update, but it was pretty packed. So, all right, please share this around and be prepared for an amazing update. I will record it the next several days, depending on where we end up and how my equipment is doing. I've been having some problems with my recording equipment. That's why I'm using my phone like this. Most people don't like it. Sorry. But anyway, that's all for now. But get ready. The end game is upon us.